I'm Howell Hawthorne with the Speech and Hearing Center. Been there since Hitler was a corporal, I think. It was founded in 1953. I did not do that. I came after in 1965. I came just on the turn of the plan for the dual funding, and it was a good thing at the time. So were some other things. Say. When I came here, there was an abundance of camaraderie and cooperation between agencies and disciplines of the county and city, and both school systems, the United Way, and all that kind of stuff. And I dare say that several of you have been on some of the same planning committees I've been on, wherein needs assessments were gone through and set priorities for those needs. Dare say that every one of the people represented here tonight and the programs that they represent are on the last, if not all, the needs assessment surveys that were done. Go look them up. They're there, the services that were provided. I don't think that the priorities have changed. I know the needs have not gone away. I know also that the needs have increased with great speed. We at the Speech and Hearing Center probably used everybody here. We've had parents who didn't pick their kids up for whatever reason, and so at the designated time we called the police. They come get them and take them over to Phil and say, "Here, Phil, keep these kids." And we do screening over there, preschool screening, both hearing and speech. Briefly, the Speech and Hearing Center has three main departments. There's speech pathology, speech language pathology, audiology, and a preschool program for hearing impaired and developmentally delayed. The very heart of our mission statement is enhancing the quality of life and sustaining the quality of life. And that goes for every age and every stage of life. I happen to believe that early identification and early intervention is probably where the greatest bang for the buck is that anybody can spend, any community can spend. What it does is allow us to turn people who would be tax dependent into taxpayers. It's an investment. It is not an outright expense that never is returned, not to mention the quality of life that is a result of that. So if it's not funded, it's just a deferred compounded cost to the community with most all of these. So anyway, the early intervention thing is extremely important. And through county funds, we used to do many free hearing and speech screenings to children under 5. Many. Some on location, some at the center, but there's a cost, but there's no charge. And to identify them at that age is essential. And as of last year, hearing loss became the #1 birth defect, according to NIH, and I guess they know what they're talking about. National and state information research has shown that, and I know you don't like to hear all this stuff, but it's near and dear to me and should be to you. If you miss the window of between 18 and 24 months with a hearing impaired child, he never catches up. Never. Even if you fit him with a hearing aid and put him in an everyday program at 36 months, he never catches up because he missed. And another kind of astounding fact to me has been forever, and that is that of all the language that any of us ever developed, it is acquired before our 5th birthday. Now tell me that early intervention like Bill and us and everybody can be done away with? Can't do it. If you do, it's going to come back and bite you in the rear. The whole community. Back to where I started with the camaraderie. Everybody seemed to be going in the same direction, assuming equal parts of responsibility. And it was kind of fun going to most of these meetings and talking about common needs and how we might plan for them, prioritizing them. It doesn't seem that way anymore. And let me also say that I really appreciate the City Commission and staff there who have worked on this and who have walked the extra mile to communicate with the county and try to get a dialogue going, and that's all I'll say about that dialogue, or lack thereof. But anyway, I appreciate that, and COA for getting this whole thing. In fact, the information that I've seen from this website and on this screen is the most consistent information I've seen presented anywhere. I personally really appreciate that. But anyway, back to what we do, and I'll get on with it. But I'm trying to impact upon you the impact that it would have on us, but not just us, the people we serve. I said that this improvement, enhancement, and sustaining of quality of life, I mentioned the early intervention, but what about those that are age of employment? Gosh, we see a lot of people who we want to make more employable. Everybody has mentioned unemployment. It's a big deal. And I could name you several who have come, men who stutter, men who have a foreign dialect and can't get promoted, can't even keep their job. But once they overcome these problems, and hearing loss is a huge one. If you can't communicate, if you can't hear on a job, you do not meet the safety requirements of most jobs. So you can just mark that one up. Till you get some help with that, then you're out of luck. So the communication is the thing to make them more employable. The aging population, of which some of us are approaching, Phil, has become even a greater interest to me. Mr. Smith has been around here a day or two himself. He's seen some of these same changes that I've talked about. Also seen some of the same benefits that were promised years ago not come to fruition. I'm still wondering where the $20 million saving was on the school consolidation, but maybe that'll come about one day. I'm waiting on that. But the aging, we see that if they can't communicate, if they can't hear, if they can't talk, if they can't maintain social contact, not just go to church, but maintain a sense of social stability and safety, then and it's really, really poor, and they lose really a desire to live. But it costs a whole lot less to provide our services, these services, than putting these people in a nursing home. Have you checked the prices there? The longer you can provide outpatient services to the aging population, the better off they are and the less it costs. Down to the punchline, and I didn't dare get into all that we'll do, but I'd be glad for you to come visit. I can send you a brochure. But like them, the people that we serve, more than 80% are seen with partially or totally adjusted cost, fees. And then, where's it coming from? Nowhere it used to come from. And you can only be so efficient, right guys, without sacrificing quality. And we have been busting our fannies for years to try to do more with the same or less money in the same amount of time and not sacrificing quality. quality. You can only do that so far, but we will continue to do that. But my own feeling is that, and I'll say that if the county doesn't come through with their portion of this, the people that we serve will suffer the most. The agencies and the collaboration will suffer tremendously, but the community will suffer the greatest cost, and it'll be deferred and compounded. Mark my word.